All right. Pretty good. Pretty neat. It's Wednesday night. It is time again, once again, for the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show, Stray Casts. Yes. Hallelujah.
How do you do?
Good evening, glory. Hallelujah to you. What's your story? What's going through you? I'm your host, Pat Renwick. I'm the host of these shenanigans, Stray Casts. And it's good to be back. We were off last week, and we had a time to collect our thoughts. We went to see the Maharishi. And
Did you?
Yeah, they got good fishing in Maharishi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good fishing over there. And
Yellows, blues.
Yeah, we had a good chance. We caught them. Could have caught them better. We had our chance, as I said, but boom, it's here, and we're back. The glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. Tonight, I can't tell you how excited we are and how much this victory means to everyone in this room, and especially all of you out there viewing. Tonight, we have the honor of having Carl Jocumsen on tonight. Yes. 2019 Lake 10 Killer Bassmaster Elite Series champion.
It's a victory for bass fishing.
It's a victory for bass fishing. You are very well said. Very well said. And very well appropriately.
I'm very well said.
Yeah, he is very well said and very well sat, as you said. Speaking of that, Cat got your tongue. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the drummer in the band, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker.
Yo.
Yes. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm okay.
I love that blue hat.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's courtesy of the bass.
It came in the thing.
The basses.
It came in the thing with the thing.
Came in the thing with the thing.
Yeah, with your subscription.
No. This is from the divisional.
Oh, from the divisional.
At the Gunnersville, yeah.
Oh, you got the special a limited edition Royal Blue BASS Nation hat.
Yes, it was the only thing I won, and it was complimentary.
It's signed by Virgil Ward.
That's right.
Virgil Ward was there at that event.
That's right.
And signed that. He was the guest speaker that night.
Yeah, and Rayo couldn't make it.
What was Virgil's words of advice at that derp?
He said, just keep your head down and just keep fishing.
Keep your head down and keep fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, classic.
Yeah.
Absolutely classic.
That's what they tell you.
That's what they do. That's what we have to do in life, too. And speaking of having to do in life, this guy, the Ferris Bueller of college bass fishing, give it up right now for the one and only, our very own intern. It's Collegiate Danny. The proper Collegiate Danny.
Collegiate.
How you doing?
Good. Finally got a microphone, dude.
It's Danny Mohan.
Yeah.
And you're on the camera.
I know, dude. Feel like I got so much power now. Got the microphone, got the camera, all set up, ready to go.
Big time.
We're making moves.
We
Can
stretch
we get
the
some
cord.
powder over there? His face is shining.
Yeah, I know.
What you can't tell is that actually he cannot move his neck more than a tenth of an inch because that cord is only that long.
Now the rookie's got to be on a leash.
But we did it. Yeah. We did it. Hey, and speaking of on a leash, amazing lead-in. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy needs to be on a leash. It's JP. Hi. It's not done dirt cheap. Are you done dirt cheap?
Thought it was Thunder Chief.
Dirty Deeds in the Thunder Chief. Yes. They're dynamite. It's just like,
I love this Motorhead song.
it's good, yeah. What's your price for flight? Not saying. It's just like Slow Motion Walter, the fire engine guy. It's
Lemmy's
not smoke on
killer
the water.
front. Right. That's right.
It's Slow Motion Walter, the fire engine guy.
Slow motion Walter.
You know
Never
who's
heard that
not
one
slow
before.
at anything? Like nothing.
That guy.
Nothing in life is this gentleman slow at. He's like Quick Claude. He does everything fast. It's the one and only punk rock producer, Ginger Ninja, doing backflips right now. If you're listening and not watching this, you can tell he is actually stave diving and surfing through the crowd right now. Give him back his TH Marine hat. Give it back to him. Give it back to him. How you
what
doing,
they
Ginge?
formerly referred
Good.
to as slam dancing.
Slam dancing, yes. You feeling good, Ginge?
Yeah, you?
I feel amazing. It's Wednesday night.
It is.
Yeah, it's like ladies' night in Buffalo.
You guys
whatever
all
that
look
means.
really good.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
All of you.
I feel real good.
Yeah.
The rest did me good. I needed to go on that expedition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I needed to go on a transcontinental drift, and I did, and I feel amazing.
Sometimes you got to get away.
Yeah. Holy diver.
Yes, sir.
Ronnie James Dio. Thank you. Amazing reference. Ginger, what do you think we should do? Let's give stuff away tonight.
Yeah.
We always give stuff away.
Yeah, you're dumb if you don't.
Yeah, you're. Yeah, I'm
you
dumb.
gotta
I'm dumb if I don't. If I don't give stuff away, you're right.
Dumb if you do, dumb if you don't.
But Hello. Yes, that's Kazoo, the great Kazoo from the Flintstone Show. But every Wednesday night here on Straycast Outdoor Cartoon Television, we give away free stuff, and it's real easy to do. And tonight, for the first time ever, do we have a drum roll thing? We have drum rolls, Andy?
Yeah.
For the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen, College Danny announcing the weekly prize.
All right, to become eligible to win tonight's awesome gift giveaway, all you got to do is like and share this live feed, and you have the possibility of winning a $50 TH Marine gift card. And
what else?
And big one,
What's more?
a signed Carl Jocumsen shirt.
A signed Carl Jocumsen TH Marine shirt.
Big news, big news. Hey, and rumor has it he wore it under his jersey during the win on 10 Killer.
And he didn't wash it.
Nope, didn't wash it. Smells like winning.
Got good mojo.
Oh, yeah.
All over. That's a hell of a prize.
Big old prize.
So
Yep.
all you have to do is like and share this live feed. Take it off a private so JP High at the end of the show can put it through a randomizer and pick the winner. And we'll announce that right after Carl is done with the interview.
Hide the privates.
Exactly. Hide that.
Take it off that.
Take it off that.
I like that. That could be a hashtag. Smells like winning. That was
Smells
good.
like winning.
Yeah.
I like that.
Shirt smells
Yeah.
like winning, man.
Smells
you,
like
you get a winning shirt from him.
Yeah.
It does smells like winning. So that's all you got to do. Like and share the feed. We're going to give you a $50 redemption code to thmarinesupplies.com along with a signed Carl Jocumsen TH Marine t-shirt. Put the power poles down. Don't you go anywhere. We're coming back with the champ, Carl Jocumsen. Let's practice karate in the garage while you're gone.
Aw.
Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you, the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 BASS Angler of the Year Brandon Palaniuk. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA. Designed and engineered to be perfect, Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament-grade bass rods at an affordable price. Join the Alphalution today and purchase direct at alphaangler.com. Step up your game. alphaangler.com.
Hey guys, Micah Frazier here. I've got a bait from War Eagle Baits called the Buzz Toad. Big thing lately has been putting a toad style bait on a buzz bait, and preferably it's my favorite way to fish one. This bait here's got a quick planing head, a great hook, and it squeals right out of the package. The body of this bait is big and bulky, so it allows you to skip it. It planes quicker than a skirted bait would. In my opinion, it's just the way to fish a buzz bait. So y'all check this thing out. It's pretty awesome.
The TH Marine Hydrowave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The Hydrowave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The Hydrowave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
The swim jig technique is one of the most successful ways to put fish in the boat. Time in and time out, Brovani Baits swim jigs are just the right tool for the job. Beaming with quality, the Brovani swim jigs come in a myriad of colors, feature the best premium hooks and solid trailer keepers to give you, the serious bass angler, the confidence you need to accomplish your goal of putting more fish in the boat. So go to BrovaniBaits.com and start climbing the ladder to swim jig success.
go farther, get some Kevin Van Dam's line and lure. You can launch it a mile. Still going. Well, better stick to fishing.
Way back in Queensland, Australia, close to the wheat and barley fields, lived a boy with dreams and aspirations of American soil and American bass fishing. He left his hut of earth and wood across the seas. He fought the zombie aborigines to finally become the 2019 Lake 10 Killer Bassmaster Elite Series champion. Ladies and gentlemen, we have for you Carl Jocumsen right now. Yes!
Hey guys.
Yes! That's how you do it.
That's an introduction. Love it.
What's going on? You have an amazing glow about you right now. Right now.
The sun's coming through, showing my good side.
You almost look surreal, like a surreal champion right now.
We got Rupee in the back there.
Oh, yeah. There's that starlet.
Oh, strapped in.
There's the blue trophy.
Look at you.
It's got its seatbelt on.
Look at you. Yeah, good. That's safe. That's safe. How's Rue doing after all this sudden, this? Oh,
I think it's gone to her head. She thinks she's pretty good. She doesn't talk to anyone anymore. She's too good.
See, she's living the life right there. Do you feed?
She's a little bit bored. She's ready to get out of the truck and chase something. She's been in the truck for a little bit too long.
Do you feed?
Got Kayla driving.
What's up, Kayla? How you doing?
I got the ear pod in so she can't hear, but she's
Oh, okay.
She said g'day.
Nice. Is Rue eating people food now that you're a champion? Do you get him like top grade beef and stuff?
Yeah, she only eats fillet and rib fillet. She just turns her nose to everything else. It's got to be medium rare.
Dude, man, I just want to say congratulations. This is a very special win. I know special might be an overused term, but man, I don't think it gets any more special than that, Carl.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, it's the whole thing was it just wasn't about me. It was about so many people that had been on the journey with me and followed for so many years. And like, I had this thing in my head like that I'd always pictured of like how it would go down and how my first win would happen or how I'd make the classic. And I could never have imagined in my life that it was going to happen like it happened. Like it just, I couldn't have written it like you couldn't have wrote that like in a script. Like the more I think about it, I'm like, how did that even happen? Like my birthday, getting married to Kayla in a couple of weeks, and just the having that tough season, like playing off all of that, and my family coming over, my granddad, 82-year-old granddad and 79-year-old grandma are going to be in America, and he took me fishing on the river as a kid, and I'm going to be able to hand him that, that trophy.
That's amazing.
And take him fishing. It's really is just, it's mind blowing. And so 20 years, I would say, of chasing that moment, and 10 years of a lot of solid setbacks, brick walls, everything you can imagine. And like in an instant, it's a right. I don't remember anything negative ever. I can't even remember having a bad day this year. It's just gone. And,
That's awesome.
that's what I can't believe. I'm like, how is that just all gone in a day? It's pretty crazy.
That's just outstanding, man. And you talked about your grandpa coming over, and I want to bring you back to your childhood a little bit, because that's what I really don't know too much about you and how you kind of got into this deal. And you told me your grandpa took you fishing on the river, which I got into fishing from my grandpa too. That's kind of what happened. But
Yeah.
tell us about the deal and where the aspirations to become a professional bass fisherman actually began. What's the origin of that?
It's yeah, I definitely have a different story to most, and everyone does, you know. Everyone get their own story, but it usually involves your dad or your grandparents or someone that
Whoop, we lost you a minute. Now you're slow motion Carl.
Slow motion Carl.
It's Carl's teeth. That's an amazing. It's kind of like a Wolverine.
Oh man, I think he's telling the story right now.
He still is. We lost Carl. Oh, calling him back. Bass Galaxy, reaching Carl Jocumsen.
Slow, Mr.
He looked good with that hat on, you know.
Yeah.
It's a good look for him.
Yeah.
Mojave Desert look.
Yes, sir. It's like he's going to a Sublime concert.
Yeah, like more like him and Kayla are like that movie with Brad Pitt where they were natural born killers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson.
I'll accept that.
Except you know the premise of it. They are driving. Kayla and
They didn't
Carl
have
are
a
on.
dog.
Huh?
They didn't have a dog.
Well, they
either.
could have. That'd have been a good plot twist.
Oh, okay.
If we had the dog in Natural Born
Natural
Killers.
Born Killers too.
Look at Ginge over there.
Looks
I wish
good.
the camera was on him instead of me right now. We will return to our regularly scheduled program.
Huh? Yeah.
I mean, think about it, man. Carl's been from Oklahoma, and then I think he was going, like heading the back towards homeland, Texas, right?
Yes.
He's in Texas now.
Yes, yeah.
But they had that little hiatus, but man, he's been on the road a little bit now, right?
Yeah, he's like Willie Nelson.
Yeah, he is. He is actually a road warrior.
Yeah.
It's
Like
true.
a band of gypsies, we go down the highway.
Truth be told.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Ginge?
I'm thinking he's going through a dead zone.
Is he? Oh, we're getting it now. The redial. Redial forward. Do I need to be on the right side of that Skype camera, Ginge? That's good.
No, that ain't what he's seeing.
Well, maybe we don't. Couldn't get him.
Couldn't get him.
Uh-oh.
Man, they must be Bermuda Triangle or something.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. We'll get it under situation and come back to it. What do you think, Ginge? Let's try a quick...
Try him on the telephono.
The cool runnings.
While we listen to the smooth sounds.
All right. Kaboom. I think we did
Chakao.
it. I think we did it. About 3 more minutes. We'll have Carl back on. He was going through the Himalayan mountains of Azure.
Yeah, he's going to stop at an internet cafe, I think.
He is, yes.
Yeah,
and get a latte and some service.
Yeah, and probably be on live TV
while he's
at
there.
some point.
But yeah, hang tight. Carl is back in about 3 minutes. So here's one thing that I want to talk to you about.
What is it?
That I thought was pretty cool at that derp. And we'll get into it with Carl, but you know, I'm a shallow water fisherman, right? I do the shallow water.
You fish shallow?
I fish shallow. And a lot of the anglers did at historic shallow water lake, right?
And some of them did well.
And did well, absolutely. But Carl seemed to commit to that outside zone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Big time outside.
Way down under.
Yeah. That's why guys do it. It's because magic can happen.
And it did.
People tell me. I never see it.
And here's the deal the football jig. Well, wait, hold on one second. Carl says, let's go.
Let's go.
But here's the thing that I want to say.
The football jig.
I love it, man. I love that that was his weapon of choice.
That was
out
it.
There. Yeah.
It was it.
I love that was the weapon of choice.
Yeah. Big rod, big line, big jig.
Boom. Switching off back and forth.
Yeah.
7.5 foot stick.
That's
big line.
That's low stress fishing there.
Heavy jig.
Except for day 4.
Just feeling it.
Yeah.
Feeling it along.
Feeling the flow, up and down and around.
So the deal with the football jig. Oh, is Carl back? All right, hey Carl, switch it over to your video icon. Whoop. Reconnecting.
He's 30 seconds away.
What I was talking about with the football jig is the drag.
The old drag.
The old drag.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people still fish
stroke, hop.
The stroke, hop.
Pop.
Or, snap drag bag.
Yep.
But that old slide, man. You know what I'm talking about.
You like the slide.
I do like the slide.
I've seen you slide.
Yeah.
All across the lake.
But, I mean, but actually that whole, and I see you guys do it, you and JP do it all the time with your little popcorn jig.
Yeah.
The slide. Instead of the
slide and scoot.
Bloop. The floop. Bloop.
We do that because gobies don't leave the bottom.
Right. But think about it, too. I mean, like, crawdads do leave the bottom, obviously.
They can. Yeah, they jump.
But sometimes they just,
they
just
oh, yeah.
scoot. And I think that subtleness,
if they're not in duress,
is the deal.
They just walk.
Ladies and gentlemen, we bring back to you.
All right.
Carl Jocumsen. Let's try this again.
We pulled over. We thought we were risking it a little bit. When you're driving, you're just driving. But we're in the middle of Montana and Idaho, and there's like no service anywhere. So
yes, like
we pulled over. We're ready to roll.
Nice. Like they say in your homeland of Istanbul, no worries. No worries, mate.
Yep, no worries.
No worries.
All good.
Whatsoever.
Sorry about that.
So, okay, let's go back. So, your story, basically you as a kid, how did you get the fishing bug? How did you get the bug?
Yeah, I I was like 4 years old and we went to the beach, sort of family holiday, and all the kids and everyone, would be playing games, doing all this stuff, and I'd have a fishing rod and I walked down to the beach and I was fishing and everyone would be like, come up and play games, do this. Dad, everyone calling me up, and I would just sit on the beach as a 4-year-old for like four hours straight and not get a bite. And I just had this sort of weird patience that my dad and my family used to talk about because I was just obsessed with it. And I ended up catching a fish doing that, and ever since that day, I was just hooked. And then my granddad was into fishing, and he used to take me and my 4 cousins out to the river in Western Queensland, and it was just always an adventure. Like we'd always get stuck, we'd get bogged, and we'd be caught out there, we'd be stuck in the rain, and I was addicted to that adventure, like getting out, in the bush. There's no other people out west in Western Australia, and you're just on this wild river, and just the adventure of it sort of really got me in. And I just sort of took it to another level. I love sports. I played football. I was a good swimmer, tennis. I was competitive, like from a kid. Any sport, I was into it. And I was like good at everything. But when I'd get to sort of a high level, I'd get beaten, and it was super frustrating for me. But fishing, I was always like just better at everyone than that because I spent so much time doing it,
Sure.
So I was always taking my friends, anyone that I could take, would put a fishing rod in our backpack and we'd ride 10 kilometers to a little lake and fish. And I just sort of got through all of that and just fishing. And then we got a little boat, and I was literally, my school, I hate it. I didn't like school, I was different. I just didn't like it. All I wanted to do was be hunting, fishing, outdoors, just away from that. And my mum she supported me more than anything. Like if I was having a tough day at school, I would call her on like the payphone thing, and she would literally come and pick me up and take me to the lake
That's
with a couple
awesome.
of my friends. So
Oh my
she was
gosh.
probably a bad influence. So I'm not saying do that, but she also knew that I just loved it so much. And Mum sacrificed every single weekend she took me and my mates to the lake, like every single weekend. And it was just like she would take us and drop us off at 12, 13 years old. We'd be by ourselves at the lake with this little boat and just like getting into lots of trouble, but we just...
Yeah, but good trouble. That's good trouble.
Good trouble, we'd our sleeping bags would get wet, it'd rain and soak our tents, and we'd sleep under some shelter, and it was always like some crazy adventure, and then it was like sort of back to school. And
back to the real world.
Back to the real world. And we sort of, I was just literally just addicted to it, and I loved, I just looked forward to every single weekend. And then about 14 years old, Australian bass tournament started up, and it was in 1999, and my granddad or a friend drove me to the lake where they had their grand final. It was like our Bassmaster. It was like the classic here, but it was Australian's Bassmaster Classic.
Gotcha.
It's in a remote lake, 30 boats, and we go down there, and there was someone had imported like glass bass boats. There was a couple, few American bass boats there, and then there was tricked out, we call them tinnies or aluminium boats with decks on them and trolling motors on the front. And I was my eyes were this wide, and I was like, this is unbelievable. And we didn't even fish. We just stayed there and we watched it, and we watched them weigh in. And I got to know one of the guys there, and he ended up kind of taking me fishing. And I used to bait fish. I just wanted to catch anything, I was catching bait, fishing, doing whatever I could. And then he took me and started fishing with lures. And when I caught my first bass, Australian bass on a lure, I literally that was it. I never used bait again. And I was hooked on like cast and retrieve. And
Sure.
He started teaching me about catch and release and letting fish go and stuff like that. And, once I started getting into that, that's when I started looking at the tournaments, and I started watching Bassmaster. I watched it on ESPN. And I'd order the magazines, get the books, and I just immersed myself in.
What year is this about? About what year is this taking place?
So it would have been about 2000. That year, 2000, I think.
Okay.
So 14. So about 99, 2000. That's when I really I was like psycho fisherman with every different thing I could. All I do was fishing. But about 14, 15 is when I started casting, lures, the tournaments. That started getting introduced into my life. And I had my local lake was Crestbrook Lake. It was called. It was 45 minutes from my house. And I literally spent every single weekend there for a crazy amount of years. Like I knew every little nook and cranny about the whole entire lake.
Is it your home?
And it was my home. And the grand final, the classic of Australia, came to that lake in 2001. And so it was a big deal. And I was like, this is going to be insane that all the best fishermen in Australia are coming to my home lake. And one of the really good guys, John Schofield, he used to win everything. He contacted me and found out through like my local fishing club who was and they all said this kid Carl that knows that lake. And so he rang me and said, if you take me out and show me the lake some, I'll teach you how to fly fish, which back then fly was really big in the tournaments. You could use it.
Okay.
And he said, I'll teach you this and I'll teach you some techniques. Well, we went out in the boat and we went all around Crestbrook and he showed me, I caught my first fish on fly and he was so passionate and you could see, he saw something in me that, like, as a 14, 15-year-old kid, I was soaking every little bit of information that he was giving me. You know, I see it now, like when a kid is looking at you and he's just wants to learn, he just can't wait to, like, so keen. I was that kid and people for some reason saw that in me and they just wanted to unload information because I would just take it. I was like a sponge on all of that stuff. And so he started teaching me everything and he won the classic on my home lake that year. And so we became just like really good friends. And from then on, I just started getting into the tournament side of things, going as a co-angler and just learning and growing from there. And the grand final prize, like our classic prize, is an expenses paid trip to America. And that was to give, so like we mimicked the American tournaments, even though they weren't big, but we just did the same sort of thing. But every Australian's dream or fisherman was we would watch Bassmaster, the classic. It's just like it's mind blowing to an Australian to see. And so to get the opportunity to come over and fish here is a massive deal. And that became my like dream from a 15-year-old watching that. I was like, I want to win the grand final and get that expenses paid trip to America to experience it.
Amazing.
And, so that was sort of my, that was the short run of my my childhood. And from then on, that 10 years, I became, the #1 bass fisherman in Australia. I won Angler of the Year 3 times. I won, a lot of just single big events.
Credentials.
And it took me, it was actually similar to my story here a little bit. It took me 10 years, but I finally, in 2008, I won our classic and our sort of Australian classic. And that's where it all changed. And I got the chance to come to America.
And there it is. And that's where the dream, boom. Took place.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
from the seed and it's growing to the tree. So we're almost we're a half tree right now.
So what's crazy is, like, lots of things crazy things happen all through my life that turn you in different directions. But there's been 2 fish in my 20 years from 14 to now, 2 fish that changed my life. And the first one was the grand final, the Bassmaster, our classic in Australia. I've been competing for 10 years. I'd never won it. I was 25 years old. I'd been fishing for 10 years straight. I'd come second twice, top 5 a few times. I couldn't win it. And I'm on the final day of our classic. And I cast a little topwater, a little walk bait up on this point. There's 30 minutes to go and I need 1 big fish and I can win. I'm in contention. And I'm walking that bait back, and the back of this giant Australian bass comes out of the water and rolls on my topwater. It misses it. And I twitch it, and it rolls on it again. And it's chasing it down. It won't eat it, gets halfway back and it eats it. And I hook up and I'm like, yes, it's the winning fish. And it comes off. Comes off the hooks. And I drop to my knees. I'm done. I had a marshal in the boat. He's like patting me on the back. It's all good. I'm like, that was my dream, right? My lifelong dream right there. And I left that spot and I went around the corner and I fished. And I said, the only chance I have of winning is catching that bass, because it was very tough. I'm not going to get another bite off another fish like that. And it was so aggressive, that fish, I had this gut feeling that I was going to get it to bite again. And I went back around the corner. I put the boat in the same position that I was, and I threw the top water up there, and I twitched it once, and its back came out of the water and rolled on it, and it ate it. And I landed that fish, and that won me the grand final and sort of turned my life around.
That's amazing.
And so now, that was in 2008. Fast forward 12 years later, and that smallmouth won me my first ever Bassmaster Elite
Yes,
Series
sir.
tournament. That one fish and has really basically changed my life again forever.
Yes,
See,
sir.
I got to know a little bit about this expenses paid trip to America. It wasn't just a plane ticket. Here, go to America. I mean, was there
Yep.
anything set up where you get to go fishing
Yeah.
or anything like that?
Yep. So it was a guy that brought in bass boats into Australia, and he had been to America quite a few times, Josh Batterson, and he sort of took me. He knows America. We went to the bass boat factory where he was importing them. We met people. We went and fished Lake Fork, and we got like a couple of guides at Lake Fork. So we flew into
You were
Dallas.
freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like in a dreamland. And we fished Fork, and we caught all these bass, and then after that week we flew to Vegas and we fished the US Open out of Lake Mead.
Sure.
Oh, man.
And and so this is where the just crazy fate and little things happen that you just have to have trust. So all these little things have always happened in my life where it had to happen, or something, it just would have never happened. And I'm on Lake Mead and I'm fishing with 2-pound braid with 4-pound leader, because we have done that in Australia with big fish, clear water.
Uh-huh.
And I just caught a bunch of fish. I caught them everywhere we went. I caught bass everywhere we went. I was just catching them. I'm like, this is amazing. We fished the tournament. I'm a co-angler and it's a shared weight deal. And I caught all my fish for like my first day pro, and then I caught them all the next day, and I had just an awesome time. And I'm sitting in like seventh as a co-angler going into the final day, and I go up to the board, and I've watched Bassmaster my whole life and everything. I know all the Elite Series guys, I know everything, and I'd watched Fred Rombanis win the $100,000 on a frog at Lake Murray. I'd watched that show like several times, and he grabs that 6-pounder out of the mat.
Sure, he thought it was a mudfish.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, thought it was a mudfish.
Yeah.
And so I go up to the sheet, the pairings board. I'm looking for my name, and I look down. It says Carl Jocumsen. Oh yeah, and I slide my finger across, and it says Fred Rombanis.
Now you're really
day
freaking
3.
out. Now you're freaking out.
Yeah, so now I was like, holy, I've just drawn an Elite Series guy.
You're
And
fanboying.
so, yeah, I'm freaking out, and I'm definitely fanboying. And I get in the boat with Fred the next morning. I'd been catching a ton of fish, and I had this little deal going where I was catching on this little curl tail grub on super light line. And sort of Fred's telling me, hey, fish a jig, fish this, try and catch a big one, and he'll catch a limit. And so we started running around, and I'd pick that up, and he was sort of looking at me like what I was doing, and I started catching him. And he starts freaking out because I caught like three nice ones. So he runs to this other spot, and I catch another good one. And 10 pounds or a 2.5 pounder is a big fish. A 3 pound is a giant on Mead at the time. So now I've got 3. Then I hook like a 3 pounder, and it gets off right at the net. And Fred just says, get your jacket on. We're going to this spot that has big fish. Like he hadn't been able to catch them, and we run like crazy. I'm like hanging onto the boat. I'm just freaking out. My heart's racing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, Fred's got a ringer. He's taking advantage of this.
Takes me to this spot, and I throw out, and literally first cast, and my rod just bends, and Fred looks at me. He's like, "You got one?" And it's not moving. And then my drag just starts screaming.
Oh goodness!
And it gets me in the grass, and I'm like, we're fighting it, and then it's got me stuck. And then we get it out, and it jumps. It's a 4.5 pounder. We land it. We run up and down the boat. We're hugging, high fiving. We're going nuts. We throw it in the well, and I end up getting second with big bass, and Fred had a top 10. And like I split the big bass money with Fred, and the whole time he was just telling me, like, he was like, dude, you've got what it takes, man. I've fished with so many people. I see something in you. You've got to come back over. And he was telling me this like all day, and I was asking him a million questions. What about this?
Of course
this,
you
and
were,
this?
yeah.
And so And so, like, that whole experience, I left, and I just fell in love with everything. I fell in love with the people, the country, the bass. The fishing, the way everything happened. I went home and I had a lot of things happening in Australia. I was at the sort of peak of my career there, but in any sport in Australia, if you're the best golfer in the world, if you're better than Tiger Woods and you stay in Australia, you would have to work at your local, golf shop on the week, through the week, and then play on the weekends. It's very hard to make. It's very hard to make money. If you think you're good, you have to go to America. It's like the American dream, basically.
The land of milk and honey.
Top sportsmen. Yeah, pretty much. And so I went home and I talked to some people and I said, I'm going to do it. And I didn't do it half-hearted. I sold my boat. I sold my bass boat. I sold my truck. I worked at my cousin's tackle store. He just bought it. I was managing it with him. We're trying to build it up. And I worked there for a year and saved up. We did fundraisers. And at the end of that year, I knew I couldn't get back onto Fred. And I couldn't talk to him. And I just, for some reason, it was real hard to contact him. But I knew one guy, Gary Boyd, and he had flown to Australia. He was an older guy that he'd fished tournaments over here, especially on the West Coast. And he'd come over and fish for barramundi before. Yeah. So he's the only guy I knew in all of America. And so I talked to him and I said, I'm going to come over. And he said, come on, you can come and stay at my house. I'll teach you how to drive and whatever and get you set up.
On the correct side of the street and everything.
On the right side of the road.
Yeah.
On the right side of the truck. We're wrong side of the truck and road. And so literally I packed, I had a suitcase full of clothes. I had a suitcase full of my tackle. I had a rod tube with my rods in it. And I said goodbye to everyone. And I jumped on a plane and I flew to LA. And
like a rock star.
Yeah, I walked up. I just remember walking up the ramp, and Gary was just standing there, and he said, "All right, let's go." And
welcome to America, young man.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard that story before. Fred Rambanis told that story on this show, but he told it a little different. He said he gave you a frog that you caught a couple fish on, but he really carried that whole derb. But he did see your potential. That's what
he saw the potential.
Yeah. He said he did see some potential in you, and then he had you wash his boat at the end of the tournament. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know.
Truck, boat, and everything.
I don't know if that's true.
Walking all over his seats.
Hey man,
no.
Yeah, 2011, you start your opens, right? I mean, that's kind of when you got your feet wet in the opens, and you qualified for the Elite Series. You finally did it, and then you had a little rough run. I think around 16, you were kind of faced with a turning point.
It took me 4 years. So I fished 2011. I fished as a co-angler, and I went as a marshal in the elites. And then the next year, I went as a pro in just the Northern Opens, and I went as a co-angler and everything else, and I marshaled all the elites. Nice. And then the third year, I marshaled the elites and I fished as a pro in every single open. So, I didn't just come and just jump in as a pro.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come over and say hey, I'm good enough to beat you now. I'm just going to get into it. I knew if I'm going to have a long career and be in this for the long haul, I want to do it the right way and I want to earn the respect off the other anglers. But by doing it, starting from the bottom, starting from scratch and building my way up. And 3 years in, and I didn't make it. And there'd been lots of times I wanted to turn around and wanted to quit. It was hundreds of times. And then 2014, I went all in, fished all the opens, all 3 series as a pro. And then in the Central Opens, I finished third in AOY to Jordan and made the elites.
Amazing.
So, that was, it's weird how what happens, but, I thought if I'm the first Australian to make it in the Bassmaster Elites, if I get there and I do it, I would be set for life. That's in my mind, that's what I thought, so the effort and energy that I was putting into it was everything. There was all or nothing. I was going for it. And when I finally made it, it was kind of a similar feeling to now, like just elated, crazy. I got blown up by everyone. Australia was going nuts. It was very, very.
You blew up
It
Australia.
was a very, yeah, it was a very similar feeling. And then what I didn't know what happened was probably 5 months into the season, I was in the worst position of my entire life.
Oh, goodness.
And yeah, and that was, I didn't know, like there's massive entry fees. I just got my tail whooped by everyone. Now I'm fishing against all those guys, and I tried so hard and went so hard that I made it way before I should have made it. Like I should never have been fishing the elites in 2015. Like I just wasn't ready. But like my second ever tournament at Gunnersville, I almost won it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's where I first remember seeing you.
Yeah, that kind of happens. And what happens is when you first come over or when you're getting into it, you haven't learnt enough. So when you get a couple bites or you're onto something, you stick with it and you grind it out. You don't know enough.
That's
don't
all
know
I
enough.
do. I don't know any better.
Yeah, and so that helps you a lot in some tournaments, but it doesn't help you in the long run because you're going to run into too many tournaments where you're not skilled enough in enough techniques. And you're actually where you're seeing me right now. What I see is, like, I've actually learned like too much. I'm at the stage where I've learned so much, put so much into all the techniques that now I had trouble. Like I actually have trouble knowing now what to do because I put everything into learning as much as I can. I don't want to be just that one trick angler that knows how to do, a certain few things. I pride my, everything on being a good all-round angler and learning. I love learning new techniques. So I learnt jig fishing and cranking and to the tee. I want to learn everything. And so now when you get to a tournament and you do all that and you get bites doing everything because you start getting good at it all, now you don't know what to do with any of it.
Yeah,
you're like, I got him cranking. I caught him on the jig. I caught him on a bluff wall. I went and flipped and caught him. I went to that grass edge and flipped that. So now I got to make a decision on what to do. And then that's where I've run into trouble. Like this year, I had really good practices, and then I didn't make good decisions in the tournament because I'm trying to do too much.
Yeah, it's that BB in a boxcar thing. It's just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, you just, when you're fishing, your mind's always thinking about, well, I caught a 5-pounder over there, so like I better run there before someone else does, or maybe that's the deal. And why I catch them in the tough tournaments and what you saw at 10 Keller is it's tough fishing, not getting many bites anywhere. And when I got the bites, I put that right in my hand, and I'm good at grinding those bites out. It's not like a wide open bite where you're getting a lot of bites doing a lot of different things.
And man, again, that 10 Killer win, just so amazing. I think there was 2 events that really touched the world of bass fishing's hearts this year, and it was Latimer and your win. I think you know it really brought the world of bass fishing together. There's so much division right now, and so much BS going on right now, and it's just so nice to see that all the world of bass fishing comes together to celebrate a true champion. That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, that's definitely, Brian's win was my favorite by far too. And it gave me so much motivation because like, I know him, know what he's like, and to see the passion and him like slunched over that trophy and what it meant to him. It's like, just tears your heart out because you know like what he's been through and what he's gone through.
Yeah, exactly.
And, yeah, that's the big deal. And then the real fishermen, they feel that emotion, you feel that, and a lot of guys felt that when they saw me catch that 5th fish, and the response I got, I just go along living my life and trying to do the right thing, and you never know whether you are doing the right thing. What are people thinking of you? And when you see that response and see the competitors saying what they're saying about me and stuff, that, like, it gives me like a lot of motivation to be like I'm doing the right thing, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and let's think about this. Like, so in retrospect, all right, you fished 70 BASS tournaments. Are you aware of that after your 10 killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. We actually
70th Derby.
70th Derby. Okay, 70th
Wow.
Derby. We probed Ronnie Moore. We alien probed him.
Nice.
Yes, we
Yeah.
got these
And then
stats.
It was legal.
You asked him a couple questions as well.
Yes,
It was
yeah.
all legal. Yeah, after the program. Yeah.
Okay, so and you've been you've basically been I can't read my deal here. I just wrote this down, but
I got it.
yeah, 35 of those times you've been in the money. Okay?
That's cool.
So that's
Yep,
pretty
that's awesome.
pretty damn good. Now, of course, when we weigh the pros and cons of professional bass fishing and the expenses versus the the assets versus the liabilities, let's put it that way.
Yep.
It if evens out, you're lucky. But this is what I found completely amazing. And when Ryan returned with this data, I just about freaked out. Get a load of this. Check this out, Carl.
This is from the secret dungeon of stats of Ronnie Moore.
Okay. Top secret stuff.
Top secret.
Yes.
Carl, you have caught 1,608 pounds of bass in your Bassmaster career.
1,600
Wow.
pounds. Wow. That's a lot.
That's not it.
That's awesome.
Hold on. There's more.
There's more. What's more, Pat? Yeah. You have won $252,311.
Okay. $250,000. Not
Yeah.
bad. That 100K just helped out a little
Yeah,
bit.
you really
Yeah.
put a bump into that
Bumped
one.
them a little. Now shock us
Yeah,
all,
yeah,
Ryan.
yeah.
Shock us. Like Shaka Khan.
Help.
Now,
Shock us.
here's the stat you want. Each pound of bass that you've caught in your career is worth
Each pound.
$156. $156 a pound.
$156 a pound. Tell Kayla. Tell Kayla that. 100.
Every bass I've caught been worth, or every pound of bass I've caught been worth $156, babe.
Tell her to go shopping now. Now
Yeah.
tell her to go shopping.
she just ordered shoes. She just go on Amazon.
5 fish limit will get you a nice weekend.
And get Rue a nice little tiara
Yeah.
since she's a
Yeah,
star
Rue
now.
needs a new collar. He's like, hell yeah.
Man, hey, and again, I'm not gonna brush. I mean, I'm not gonna get too much into the 10 killer win here. It's been well covered, and again, not overshadowing it or overlooking it, but man,
Yeah.
just amazing. The whole deal, man. The perseverance, the win, perfect storm.
Yeah.
Perfect storm, man.
Yeah, that's really what it was. It was so many things had to go right and happen, but it was just like something was going on that there was no way it was going to be denied in that tournament. There was just like something happening where there was nothing I could do that was going to ruin that tournament. It was definitely a special week.
So do you remember? So when you found out that you had the winning weight and you were the winner of the Derb, do you remember the first thought that actually came to your mind? I mean, like, I don't know, it might be obvious, like, oh, I won, but was there something else? Is there something more there?
What was weird, like during the tournament when I was catching them, was like, I had it in my mind that I would like be on just the greatest day ever. If you caught 20 pounds on 10 kilo on the last day, you would be on cloud 9, where it was like the worst, most stressful time of my life. Like I just had the worst demon feelings over me, especially before I caught that smallmouth. It was just the worst 3 hours of my life. And it was every little bit of my power to stay calm and just keep methodically casting. And then when I caught that and when I caught the other fish, there was like a little window of like elation, like, oh, it's amazing, I've killed it, it's awesome. And then because you've got whooped so much for 9 years over here straight, and you know how hard it is to win and everyone always catches them, it's just so hard, that just instantly creeps in. It's like, I got to keep casting.
Right.
I need to catch another one, and
You want to get your ass kicked
instantly
again.
It was like, instantly it was like, Kyle's just got to catch 16 and he beats me if I got 20. So I'm like, I need another one. And I need another. Yeah, it was never enough, because you just know, like, what these guys are like. You come in and you think you won, they got 18.
They
But
left hook
when
you.
I found that
right.
moment where I was like, I'd won, it was literally like the weight of the world came off my shoulders.
Felt-
It's impossible to explain.
You know what, though? that is why most bass fishermen stay humble. Most professional bass fishermen stay humble because you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen at the end of the. You always feel like
I must not know the ones you know.
I mean, the guys we have on this show, you know. But I mean, you have no idea. You have no idea.
And you win today. You come dead last the very next tournament. Like it just that's
it
just
kicks
how
you in the
bass
teeth.
fishing is.
But you're not gonna do
and
that. You're not gonna.
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
I'm not gonna do that. No.
Because you know why? Because the old Mike Iaconelli deal, never gives up. He doesn't think of quitting. Carl Jocumsen is not a quitter. Okay.
Right. He was in that storm. He's in the storm.
Here's an example, okay, of someone who has done everything they possibly can to achieve their goal in life. And that fear my heart thing, dude, if that doesn't inspire every human in the world, then they're dum-dums, plain and simple. I mean, it's amazing.
I think the fear my heart thing is going to be one of the biggest, accomplishments of my life. I have so much attachment to that mantra, that motto, and everything about it. And a few years ago, I had the hat on, and me and my cousin were sort of doing stuff. We had some clothing, and we were wearing it, and I was hashtagging it and doing some stuff with it. And it was for personal reasons, but we're starting to do a little bit of stuff with it. And I had the hat on, and it's kind of hard to read because it's inside the motto. It says "Fear my heart," and it's like the fear's written into the heart. But I had the hat on, and I went into a gas station, and this lady was working behind in an old country store sort of thing.
Okay.
She's behind the counter.
Nice.
And she looks at me and says, and I'm trying to pay for the fuel or whatever, and she says, "That's me." And I said, "What?" And she said, "That's me." And she pointed at my hat, and I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Fear my heart." And I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "I love that." She's like, "That's me." And, she was just, and I got the chills, like the hairs stood up on the back of my neck. And I was like, this is something special. And I have seen that, I've seen that hundreds of times. And it's like, it's not me. It's nothing to do with the fishing. It's everyone. And if you have the heart, it's over everything. I don't know if I told you the story about how I come up with it. Did you hear that on stage?
I did, but please share. Yes, please.
2013. I'd fished, 3 years in America. Got my butt whooped, just back and forward, and there was just no chance of. It just seemed impossible that there was just no way I was going to make the elites. It's too hard. I think I come in the 150s all year. Never got a check in 2013. And I was, I'm always into my fitness and looking after my mind, working on every aspect of the sport, trying to be become the best and utilize that stuff. And through CrossFit and a few other things, I was watching a Navy SEAL recruiting officer. And it was a big documentary, and he's on there and he's talking about how he gets these top 6 guys. And he said that the fastest swimmer, the strongest guy, the most talented there, the guy that can do everything, he explained all these things. He said they never, ever make it. All those guys that are talented. He said the only guys that come through are the ones with heart. And he said,
heck yeah.
Most of them, he said, some of them can't even swim. He's like, they can't even swim, but they got heart. And he's like, they're the ones that make the Navy SEALs. And that's what hit me. And I was talking to Gene, a good friend of mine that has, been there for me over here. And I said, somehow I said, fear my heart. And Gene said, you need to turn that into a motto.
Gene Eisenman. I love Gene.
Yeah. And I wore it. And he said to say hello, actually. I talked to him today. And
hi, Gene.
So,
hey, Gene.
I started wearing that. I started just using that as my motivation. And I knew then, I don't have the experience that these guys have. I don't have the skill. I don't have all of these things, but I knew I had the heart. And I was like, that's what I'm going to beat them with. And I've worn that on my sleeve and on my hat ever since.
Do you have a tattoo or no? You got that tattoo?
I haven't got a tattoo, and everyone gives me crap about it because I'm a silk when it comes to that. But if I'm gonna get a tattoo, and it's going to
tattoo.
be fear my heart. I just got to get the right one.
Kayla,
Tattoo.
Kayla
Face
said to get
tattoo.
one on your face.
Face
yeah.
tattoo,
Kayla
yeah.
said get it on your face.
yeah.
Big face
Yeah,
tattoo.
Right across,
Across
the
the
front.
forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I'll do a Mike Tyson one, sort of a bit of a scars across the face and underneath the eye.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
you'll bite your competitor's ears off like a true
Yeah.
bass warrior. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Why not?
Hey, yeah, let's have some
But
fun.
yeah.
Let's have some fun,
Yep.
Carl. Enough of this.
Yeah.
You want to
enough
do?
of the serious talk.
Yeah, and I mean, you've been going through these damn interviews since you won that derb and all this. Let's just screw around now. What do you say?
Yep.
Let's
Yep,
do.
let's do it.
What do you say, Andy? Let's do awkward viewer mail. What do you think? How about awkward viewer mail? Okay, it's time for awkward viewer mail.
It's already got awkward, so I'm worried.
Well, these are from your friends, so
Okay.
yeah, these are from your buddies.
That's
All right,
even worse.
the first guy that has a question for you is Brendan. This is Brendan from Idaho. Brendan from Idaho.
Okay.
He wants to know, how often do you get to hang out with Brandon Palaniuk, and is he really as cool as he seems? Because I think he's the best fisherman ever.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I get to I get to hang out with him a couple times a year. You know, we're usually pretty busy. This year we fished together on a little lake in Alabama, throwing the glide baits. And Brandon is as cool as you think he is. He's you know, what did he do for me in 2015? I was editing, and I was filming my fishing and my tournaments, and I was putting them together on this real old computer, original GoPro. And when I'd upload it, it wouldn't be in high definition, and it just wouldn't look good. And he messaged me and he said, "How come you're not uploading it in in high definition?" And I said, "Oh, I got an old PC and it doesn't do it." And at the very next open tournament, he had a brand new MacBook Pro waiting for me there.
wow.
Gave it to me.
So he's not cool
Yeah.
at all. He kind of sucks a
Yeah,
little
not
bit,
even-
is
not
what you're
even-
saying.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So Brendan
That's
in
what-
Idaho.
What a jerk.
Brandon is not
Yeah.
cool. So, okay.
Brandon.
This
Yeah.
next one is from a podcast in New Jersey writes in. A podcast in New Jersey writes in and says, was Sunday red panty night in the Lance motorhome?
Yeah.
It was.
What was this? What was there or what?
No, was it
Question
red
was?
panty night in the Lance motorhome on Sunday night?
Yeah. It's always red panty night.
It's always red panty night in the Jocumsen household. There it is right there. Okay, this one is from Zark Mona from Pure Michigan. Zark Mona from Pure Michigan writes in, not many people can pull off the neck beard. Okay? Not many people can pull off the neck
Neither-
beard. Andrew Luck.
Neither can I.
Andrew Luck pulls off the neck beard, and
Yeah.
I mean you pull it off. Here,
Questionable.
plain and simple. You and Andrew Luck, you pull it off. Bottom line, do you ever feel kind of like that's been overshadowed by maybe Seth's mustache? Maybe that gets a little more attention than the neck beard should.
Yeah, I think my neck beard's definitely got a little bit of a jealousy thing going on, because Seth's got his mustache got a name, and it's got attention, it's got an Instagram page. And
Yeah, it's BS, man.
my old neck beard, just nothing, just gets nothing.
Yeah, old neck beard. You need a neck beard.
Yep. Took me 35 years to grow this. No respect.
You know what, though? You stop trimming that mustache up off your lip and let it grow over your mouth, you'll start getting some attention on that thing.
There you go.
This is as good as it gets. I can't believe I've even got this.
Okay, here's the last
35
one.
years.
Here's the last one. This is from Donnie Smore from Arkansas. And Donnie wants to know, how much better do you think Bass Live is since the addition of Ronnie Moore's statistics on the Bass Live?
It's I think it's awesome. I think that's what people want to see. It's unreal. everyone's glued to it. Everyone that I talk to absolutely loves Bass Live, and Ronnie's always got his stats up there, which makes it even better.
Spoken like a true ambassador of the sport.
Yes.
Very good. That concludes our awkward viewer mail segment of the show. Good job.
Awesome.
Good job. Hey, sometimes I like to go forward into the future in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to creatively visualize. Do you like to creatively visualize?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what you got to do. You got to see it.
So basically, I am going to take you and I into the future. Okay?
Nice.
We're going into the future right now, and I have a show. It's kind of like I'm kind of like the Geraldo Rivera of bass fishing. Do you know who Geraldo is?
No.
Yeah, then it doesn't even matter. Basically,
Yeah.
From Australia.
he's from Australia. So basically, I'm kind of like the Kate Blanchett of bass fishing talk shows. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
now
that
it's
makes sense.
now it's coming together.
There you go.
You know, our Margot
Kate
Robbie.
Blanchett and Geraldo are
Yeah.
same person.
The Margot Robbie of
Okay.
talk shows.
Yeah.
If that, so I'm
Okay.
giving you like Australian chicks, you know, to
Yeah.
relate to this. Whatever.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever. But this is a show that I have. It's called Tales from the Outback, and you have won about 16 blue trophies. They're all beautiful on the mantle, and I've won EGOTs. Those are Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, and Tonys all together. I've won tons of those. And now here we are in the future, in the Australian Outback. Let's go Outback. Ah, yes. We're just out here cruising around in my dune buggy.
What year is this?
I got a dune buggy. It's 2021 and a half, not too far away.
2021 and a half.
Yeah, we did a lot of work, me and you.
Okay.
Boom, internet
We
high
went to
five.
work.
Yeah, internet high five right there. It's the size of my heart, bro. It's not how deep you fish, it's how you wiggle the worm. You know what I'm saying? The size of the heart. Boom. Here we are. So I'm just going to ask you a series of questions out here in the Outback, and there's nobody listening, so just be completely honest and upfront about all these answers, okay? No honey dicking whatsoever. Boom, right to the deal. Let's let Pandora out of the box and get to the point. Okay, here we go. Is there urban legends in Australia? You know how we have like urban legends in America, and there's like hook hand people and Bigfoots and Sasquatches and chupacabras.
Yeah.
What do you got in Australia? What do I got to be afraid of?
We got a yowie.
A yowie?
Yowie.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Kind of like Bigfoot, but I think you'd kick Bigfoot's butt.
So, yeah, so
Yowie's it's like a tougher version of the Bigfoot.
yowie. How do you
Whoa.
spell yowie?
I thought that's like when you stub your toe.
I think it's Yowie.
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 Is that? I think Yanni. You're saying Yanni. That's like a musician. He's like a jazz
composer.
guy. Yes,
Yeah.
Yanni.
This is a big hairy man that just
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Yanni.
Yeah,
That's
Yanni.
Yes, Yanni.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember the first time you ever drove a high performance bass boat? Were you scared?
No, not really.
You were just at it. You were ready to do it.
Hammer down.
Put the foot flat.
Hey, when you first came to, Kayla's not listening, right?
No, she
Okay,
can't
good.
hear.
So when
we
you
can talk about it.
when you first came to America, did you get like hella babes, man, because of the Australia deal? I mean, were you doing well?
The accent didn't hurt things, that's for sure.
Didn't hurt things.
It was bad.
Did you ever
No,
make up
no.
stories? Like, did you ever, because like maybe like a, professional
Yeah,
bass
I
fishing is kind of boring. Did you like tell them you were something
Yeah.
else?
I just said I was Steve Irwin's like big brother.
Big
Had a-
Worked every time.
Yeah.
Hey, do Aborigines scare you? Because they kind of scare me. Like they can be scary, right? I mean, I'm sure they're peaceful, nice people, but
Yeah, no, they're good. They're really good fishermen, good hunters, good. They're unbelievable. Like when they're out in the bush and live off the land, they're super skilled athletes. They're unbelievable. When watching them hunt and fish is something pretty special. But yeah,
but they're
good
like
people.
I seen a lot of Scooby Doo in my days, and those Aborigines get you every time. I'm just letting you know. Just letting you know.
Be careful.
Thank you. Thank you.
loincloth.
Have you ever intentionally hit a wallaroo while driving?
I haven't intentionally, but they will jump out in front of you. Wallaroo is like a big wallaby kangaroo cross, and they'll do some damage on your truck if you hit one of them.
Yeah, they're real SOBs. Our buddy Dean Sylvester told us about that. They just destroy trucks there.
Yeah, they'll jump into the side of you. Everyone in Australia has a bull bar, which is a big steel bar on the front of the truck. And that's just to bounce them off the front so it doesn't cave the front of the car in. But
Nice.
they'll jump into the side of the car and wrap up the side and hit every single panel on the truck. So they're,
you know what? Those bars
they
do
suck.
not stop yowies. So I
Yowies,
still need
yeah.
you to be careful.
That's,
Careful
no.
of the yowie.
There's no Yowie bar.
Hey, pick one rod and reel combo to use for the rest of your life and one bait to tie on it.
I'd have to go a Miller Rod Frog Freak, and I would put a Corrado DC on it with 50-pound braid, and I'd put my my Molex Frog on it, Super Nardo Frog, and I would fish with that for the rest of my life.
Rest
no
of his
problem.
life, and he's a happy man. And you would dream of that big fish on that came out, that Australian bass.
I might have thrown it up a bit early because the guy I frog lately, the glide bait outfit might have actually taken over, but you can't beat a frog bait.
You can't-
No, I like your style. on that one.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. Hey, what's a technique you're lacking in?
I think cranking for sure. It's just something that I definitely really want to work on a lot, and I do it and I enjoy it. I just don't. I've never done well in a tournament if I've chosen that way to do it. I've never got quite that confidence to do it, and I'll pick it up, but with the jig where I can pick it up and I've just got so much confidence I can use it all day. I've never had that with the crankbait.
Why don't you go hang out with
something I
Clun,
definitely-
man? I mean, go in
I know.
for real. I mean, why don't you call?
That's
I'm
what-
sure he
yeah.
would.
Sneak into his side
Yeah,
of the trailer
that's what
park.
you got to do. That's the best way to learn, and that's how I have learned a lot, is just fishing with guys and seeing how they fish, and skipping and stuff like that. When that's why I went as a marshal, because you think you're good, and then you go with one of those guys that are good at it, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm not nowhere near where I need to be, and then that gives you motivation to go and work on it. And when you see a guy like Combs cranking the way he does, you know, okay, I'm just not on that, nowhere near on that level. I'm not going to throw it like he is. I'm not going to keep it in my hand like he does. I'm not going to fish with it confident like he does. So that's one big one that I've worked on it for years and years. That's probably one that I haven't been in the boat with someone that's just a full on freak with it to really see him. You can watch it all you want and
You
see
gotta
guys
feel it and
doing
do
it,
it.
but
Yeah, you got to feel it and do it. Hey,
Yeah,
who's your favorite
for
band?
sure.
Who's your favorite band?
Band. Who's my favorite band?
He doesn't know.
It's not a good sign.
Yeah,
I just listen to so much. It'd be I don't really have a favorite.
like
It'd be
sing a
country
song.
music
Sing your
singer.
favorite song. Like sing the first song that comes into
Okay.
your mind.
Come from a land down under.
Do you know any Prince songs? Like the artist Prince?
No, I don't. I do, but I'm definitely not going to sing one of those for you. I'm sorry.
My gosh. Goodness gracious. Everyone else does. Except Carl. Every other chant. You should have heard Edwin Nevers sing it 2 weeks ago. That was amazing.
Just belted it out.
He danced too.
Sang half of Purple Rain.
Hey, what's your favorite Australian food, and then something you got turned on to in America that you just can't get enough of as far as food?
We've got a thing called a sausage roll and a meat pie. And,
All right.
Those two things you just don't have here in America, and I'm definitely always craving a sausage roll or a meat pie when we're on the road, and they're just hard to get, and it's just it's like a savory pastry.
Yeah, we
just
have
meat
those
and-
here in
and-
Chicago. We
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
those
some-
for real meat
Some
pies.
places-
There's meat
yeah,
pies.
Some places are getting them. Yeah, they're starting to take over. America's finally catching up on the pie sausage roll deal. They're a bit slow on that.
So what did you freak
gotta,
out about
we
American
gotta
food?
get some sausage. 100% Mexican food. Like every Australian, like actually has a problem with it. Like you could just, I could eat it like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and not get sick of it.
What's your dinner? Like, what's your Mexican entree that you
Just enchiladas with all the stuff on it, with all the red sauce, and yeah, that's probably my deal, my main jam. But after a good tournament and we get a check, it's always straight to Mexican.
Hey, what's the first lure that you ever fell in love with? The first artificial lure you ever fell in love with?
I was at I know the actual one. There was a little hard body, an Eddie Lure mini buster that I caught my first fish on, but that's crazy thinking back now. It brought back some pretty cool memories. I was at Crestbrook and these two guys were in a kayak and they were fishing and they were right into their lure fishing and we were just getting into it. We didn't know what we were doing. And it was my birthday and I must have been like, I couldn't drive yet. My mum had dropped us off out there, so I must have been like 15, 14, and he gave me a Hedon torpedo.
Yeah, buddy.
And, it was a little one. Yeah, it was a little one. And we went down to the bank at night, and he was showing me how to use it. And it was pitch black, had no torch, no light, phone, nothing. And he's telling me how to do it, and there was like 4 of us throwing it, and we were twitching it, and it was dead silent, pitch black, and all you could hear was those 4 prop baits just coming across the top, and then next minute just explosion, just boom,
dropping bowling balls.
Everyone just sat there, sort of look at each other, and then someone would, someone would get a bite, and I never forgot that, and I still have that little Hedon torpedo, that exact lure.
That's
Tiny
amazing.
torpedo.
Did you ever just reel a torpedo? Have you ever caught them that way? It makes that real subtle buzz. Sometimes they just clock it.
Yeah. Those guys used to troll them behind their kayak. That's how they used to do it. Like
really?
They'd get out in the morning, and they'd throw 2 each out, and they'd just paddle along, and those 2 little prop baits would be out there, and they'd catch them. But I never forgot that night. It got me addicted to surface fishing.
So speaking of loves of your life, again, before your bae Kayla, who was your celebrity crush when you were a kid? Before Kayla, who's your celeb crush?
Before Kayla, it was I used to have posters of her on the wall. It was Anna Kournikova.
Oh yes,
Nice.
thank you. Stop all the music and just a huge round of applause for Anna Kournikova right now. Thank you so much. I miss her dearly. What is she doing right now?
She's awesome.
Yes.
I don't know, but whatever she's doing, it's probably good.
It's probably
Probably
amazing.
perfect.
Yeah, she's probably great.
Kayla's Googling it. She's Googling it right now.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you. All right,
it
let's go back
working?
to the Aborigine Outback.
What is
All
she
right,
doing?
let's couple more. All right, so here we go. Bunch of shift. The world of bass fishing is shifted, right? It's crazy. Sometimes it's not. But then you win an Elite Series Derby, and everything is beautiful and roses.
And nothing else matters.
But if you could change one thing about professional bass fishing, what would it be? One thing about professional bass fishing. What would Carl's change be? Why do I feel like David Carradine right now?
That's a pretty hard one.
I know,
That's a real
right?
hard one.
Change something. It's up to you. Fear your heart, bro. Change it.
Yeah.
What is it?
Could change one thing. It would be we would only fish lakes that absolutely no one knew.
Only fish lakes no one knew. I like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
That's the purity
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Just,
that.
Every lake we fish, not a single angler knows a thing about it.
Hey, BASS lost a few guys to some different leagues. And which 2 of them, which 2 anglers that left do you miss the most? Who do you want to come back? Let's just say, who do you want to come back?
I'd say probably a couple of the young guys, probably Brandon and I'd say Matt Lee.
Matt Lee and Brandon. Okay. Very
Yeah.
good. Excellent. Yeah, I mean,
take them back.
Yeah,
Take
those
them.
younger guys, you guys.
It's only 2. Like the next one.
Pick 17 anglers that you would like to come back to the elite.
I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I just keep going through everyone.
I said pick 80.
Hey,
So
does
we're
do you know what a proper bassin man is?
I know what proper means, but
So to you, what is a proper? What's a proper bassin man?
A proper bass man is just someone that does it themselves.
Yeah, buddy.
Does everything themselves, learns how to fish themselves, doesn't gather a bunch of information and try and fish a bunch of other people's spots.
Oh.
He does it on his own back.
That's
proper bass man.
Definitely an
You got
element of the proper bassin man. There's
Yep.
no doubt about it, man. Hey, who's your original bass fishing idol?
The original one was definitely like back in Australia, John Schofield. I looked up to him for years, and he dominated a lot of people and won a lot of money in Australia, and he's the guy that I definitely looked up to.
So when you were watching
so-
watching ESPN, who was the American guy? Who was that guy?
It was probably definitely my era would have to be Van Dam.
Van Dam.
I watched him, but I did really like Iaconelli. I read his biography, and him sleeping in the back of the truck, stealing power from the gas stations.
It's awesome.
And I read his bio. I read all the books, and it was definitely between him and Van Dam. I loved watching all of that. But yeah, later in the thing, obviously Fred was a big deal. But as a kid, just sort of sitting back and watching it was always Van Dam and Ike.
I know that your first year on the elites, I believe it was your first year, that you got in a little altercation with Boyd Duckett. And prior to that, I know that Boyd you guys used to exchange Christmas cards and super tight. You guys still exchange cards after that and at Christmas? You do?
No, I haven't heard from him since then. He stopped sending them, so I think he lost my address.
No Elf on the Shelf gifts either from Boyd Duckett?
You lost your address in the
Nothing.
mail.
Nothing ever since.
Criminy. Well, bygones be got bygones. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, name a fish loss in your life that haunts you the most.
Ooh.
A fish loss.
Oh, there's plenty of them. Probably the most recent one, actually, and it was the one at the Table Rock Open Championship last year. Second day, making a comeback on the glide bait, 6.5 pounder, eats it at the rod tip, and I hesitated to boat flip it, and it jumped and came off at the boat.
Oh.
And that was my ticket to the Classic. That was my ticket to everything, and that one really hurt. But everything happens for a reason, and if I caught that fish, then I wouldn't be here right now talking to you guys. So
Exactly, man. And
yeah,
that was the first episode ever of Outback Tales or whatever the hell I called it.
Yeah,
Probably the last
I
one.
liked it.
Yeah, probably the last
Until he's on
you're on again. We'll have Outback Tales.
I answered every question that could ever be answered about Australia. So I don't know how you can do it
Perfectly.
again.
Tell me an Australian swear word.
Done.
No, just kidding. In your language,
No.
what is a swear
I
word?
can't.
No.
Yeah, we call it a swear word.
It's crikey.
I don't do that. Sorry.
I get it.
Except for when I lost that 6 pounder.
Yeah. Something happened. A couple superlatives right there. Hey, you know what? I know that you guys are on the road. I just want to get to know a little bit more about you before we let you go, and let's play a little game of Bass in Life. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Bass in Life. This is MMA Ultimate Fighting Edition of Bass in Life with Carl Jocumsen right
we
now.
gonna fight?
Yeah, this is Ultimate Fighting Edition. Yes, it's cage match.
Like it.
Cage match. You ready?
Yeah.
You feeling the groove?
I'm in.
You feeling
I'm
the
ready
groove?
to go.
Okay. This is like 70s porno cop music. going on right now.
It's like chips.
It's like chips and dip and salsa. All right. So what I'm going to do is give you fighting terms or ultimate match or MMA fight. Ultimate match fishing on the brain. But, you know,
Ultimate match
MMA fighting, boxing, you know, they go along with all this, okay? Now, the first term I'm going to give you, and I need you to relate these terms to both bass fishing and life. So I'll give you the term or the word, and you relate it to bass fishing, and you relate it to life. The first is the guillotine. The guillotine. What's the guillotine in bass fishing, and what's the guillotine in life?
The guillotine in bass fishing is the very end of the season when the guillotine. It'd be. I always use these terms too, but the guillotine is just tournament fishing itself. It just gets you in a chokehold and doesn't let you go. I would say it's tournament bass fishing. That's it.
In general, what's the guillotine of life?
Guillotine in life is negative thoughts.
Negative thoughts.
Good
Amazing, amazing.
Good answer.
Hey, how about an overhand punch? Good old
Overhand punch.
Yeah.
That's boat flipping a 5-pounder on the last day.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What's that in life? What's the overhand punch of life?
Overhand punch of life is when your best friend says yes when you ask her to marry you.
Wow, look at that. Look at how you did that right there. Look at that smile.
I'm getting brownie points over here.
You're blushing a little bit, too. That's awesome. Hey, tell us, speaking of all that, tell us about the anaconda.
The what?
The anaconda.
Oh, that's an MMA move.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that one. The anaconda.
Yeah, that's that's like where you choke them. That's the choke.
That's catching 20 pounds on the last day of a Bassmaster Elite event. Give him the anaconda.
Give him the old anaconda. You choked the competition right there.
Yeah.
What's the anaconda of life?
Oh, that's Saturday night.
I'll leave that right there. Saturday night's the anaconda. All right. So we're still on Saturday night. How about the body slam? Let's talk about the body slam. What's that in bass fishing?
The body slam in bass fishing is knocking someone out of the top 50 in as the last guy in. Knocking him out of the cut.
That's the body
That's
slam.
The body slam. Yeah.
What's a body slam in life?
Body slam of life is body slam of life. That's a tough one. Rupee, you got any answers? Who's like
Rinkers, Rarl?
Body slam of life.
Body slam of life.
Getting kicked out of the elites after being in there for 2 years.
That was a slam, but it happened for a reason.
That was a slam. That was life. It was a bit of bass fishing, but that was life.
No, but it happened for a reason. And
that
finally,
was the body slam.
The last one, Carl Jocumsen, Bassmaster Elite Series champion. Relate this fighting term to bass fishing in life. The old rope-a-dope. The old rope-a-dope.
Oh, the rope-a-dope's a good one. The rope-a-dopes come behind. Is a Micah, Jamie come behind from 10th and take the tournament out for sure. That's definitely the rope-a-dope.
That's right. When life gives you cherries, make lemonade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Perfect sense.
Hey.
Yeah.
Carl Jocumsen, one more time, congratulations, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
It's amazing. I don't think you'll ever wipe the smile off my face. It's the money's unbelievable and it's going to help us, but that win and that trophy is going to stay with me forever. And it's something I'm never ever going to forget.
Oh gosh, and I'm a knucklehead. I forgot to mention. We did mention it at the beginning of the show, but you are giving away a signed TH Marine T-shirt. Is that correct?
Yep. That is correct. So what do they got to do to win it?
They had to like and share the live Facebook feed, and then JP High, the hip hop fisherman. His last name's really High. He's not just High. His last name's High. So he's going to put it in a randomizer, and then we're going to pick a lucky winner. A Carl Jocumsen signed TH Marine T-shirt and a $50 TH Marine voucher code. How amazing is that?
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. My boat is decked out, trolling motor transom with TH Marine gear, Kong mounts, Atlas, everything in between. So
I love the videos you
guys,
do for TH. I like how you highlight each product, man.
Yeah, they're just such practical products that it's not just for tournament anglers. It's every bass fisherman needs them. You know, that troll tamer, that's been a life changer for me. You know that, and especially with the Minn Kota, like we're always something going on, and that troll tamer, like every single bass fisherman needs that on their boat. And it's not just they're not gimmick things. They're practical things that are going to make your life easier on the water.
And the most practical invention,
not even fishermen.
Yeah, the most practical invention just came out, and it's the sucker. Do you have a TH Marine sucker?
I don't.
You got to get one. It can hold your beverage upside down. I mean, not that you want to do that, but I mean,
that might be the least practical one, but it's still a good product.
Yeah, but it's very practical to like astronauts and stuff. You know what I mean?
In case you want to chug.
Yeah, you get the sucker, and if you make an order at TH Marine Supplies right now, you get a free sucker. You think I'm kidding? Go to thmarinesupplies.com. Boom.
Get a free sucker.
Perfect.
Carl Jocumsen, thank you so much for spending some time with us here tonight. Congratulations on your win. Safe travels, and we wish you the bestest of most bestest remainder of 2019 and 2020. How's that?
Thanks, guys. That's awesome. I appreciate you having me on, and anytime you want me on, let's do it. I had a fun, and you guys are doing an awesome job for bass fishing and everything that you guys do. So hopefully we're on soon and have a big 2020.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Jocumsen right there. Thank you so much. Thanks, Rue, and thanks, Kayla. Take care. Peace. Peace. Yes. Carl, I learned a lot about Carl tonight.
Yeah, man.
I did. I've been reading all week about his
That
win,
dude.
so I'm sorry if I
Same
didn't
here.
get into the whole 10 killing of the 10 thing. But I mean, I just really wanted to get into a little more
He threw a jig to
of
victory.
the man, Carl Jocumsen.
You wanted to know about the anaconda.
About the Anaconda hold. Absolutely. We didn't get to the Americana. Do you know what the Americana is? The Americana hold.
No,
I know you know what it is. You probably just don't know the name.
I've never heard that one. No,
Well, you've done it to people.
I have.
That's that deal where you move the arm
course.
back, dude. You know, where you pull and the elbow goes in the opposite direction.
like the arm bar.
It's just like it's kind of like an arm bar. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
same kind of deal. But
It's just the Americana version of the arm bar.
yeah, basically what they do
So it's
is
like a
there's
hipster
it's
country
yeah,
kind
it's
of
low
music
fat
version
instead of
of
whole milk is
Yeah.
what it is in the Americana.
Okay.
That's basically what it is.
Oh, try that one.
Speaking of Americana, there is nothing more Americana than thmarinesupplies.com,
That's
and
true.
we are giving away some TH Marine stuff. So did everybody like and share the feed?
Yes.
Yeah, looking good.
Couple gazillion?
Oh, yeah, couple
Okay.
gazillion.
So you randomize things, right, JP High?
Yep, it's done.
Now, who? Hey, can you guys try something?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need you guys to kind of sync and mind meld, and you got to say the winner's name together at the same time. Don't screw it up. Say the winner's name at the same time.
Like rock, paper, scissors, right?
I'll do like
No,
three,
same time.
3, 2, 1. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Trevor
Trevor Story.
Trevor
Boom.
Story.
Trevor Story. Let's hear it.
Trevor Story, you are the winner of a signed Carl Jocumsen TH Marine t-shirt and a $50 redemption code. And Rue, the Bassin Dog, is bringing you that shirt tomorrow. Rue, the Bassin Dog. That's what Carl and Kayla send Rue to do
It's
the
like a
dirty
carrier
work.
pigeon. It's a carrier puppy.
It's carrier puppy.
Yeah.
And we will send you a TH Marine redemption code. All you got to do is go to thmarinesupplies.com, put it in, get $50 worth of stuff on us, TH Marine Supplies. Boom. It's that easy.
And thank you for having a last name that's easy to pronounce.
Yeah.
Trevor Story.
Yeah, and I
That
was
doesn't
hoping
happen
I was hoping it was going to be something really hard and you guys would screw it up, honestly.
Yeah.
No.
Something started with a Z.
Yeah.
Hey, College
Q.
Danny, the intern, good job on your first night of prize announcement.
Yeah, first time on the mic, getting used to things.
Yeah.
I like it. So.
JP, how do you like sitting next to Danny?
It's great.
I'm sweating a little bit. I smell it. JP's probably
No, that's
curdling.
Hey, Andy,
We're
how
all
do you like
sweating.
sitting next to JP?
Not at all.
You don't like him? Gosh. Holy cow.
I like
Hey,
JP, I just don't like sitting.
maybe you guys should fight. Yeah, let's do that.
Cage match.
Yes, let's have a cage match between JP and Andy to end the show.
I just heard about this Americana. hole.
It's the old Americana. It's
Yeah.
country and western.
I'll show you.
It's country and western.
An Americana.
As I leave you, proper Bassin Galaxy, I must leave you. Are you proper Bassin man? Or are you proper Bassin man? Ask yourself. Look deep inside. Do you have what it takes to be the proper Bassin man that you should? Bass Galaxy, I've been your host, Pat Renwick. Why are you doing that? Why? I don't know where I'm looking. Bass Galaxy, I'm your host, Pat Renwick. We are going to Lake St. Clair. I don't know. I'm leaving in a couple days or something.
We
Going to
are?
see- yeah, I'm going. I don't know what you guys
Oh,
are doing. I'm
shit.
going to see the Iowa tournament. AOI.
Yeah. Oh, I
Tournament.
thought you were going for the other one that's on the same weekend.
No, not the Rasputin Derb.
Yeah.
Going to that.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
Hell of a scheduling.
I'm going to cancel my subscription to the House of Redemption. You know what I
should.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to send my credentials because the face in the mirror won't stop.
Yeah.
And what I must tell you is, Bass Galaxy, tune in 2 weeks from today for more stray casts. It's proper bassin'. Peace. I'm Pat Renwick, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, Danny Mohan, JP High the Hip Hop Fisherman, Andrew Ellenberger the Ginger Ninja, and Larry Kyleman. Remember, this broadcast will be available shortly on iTunes. And also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This has been a recording. This has not even been a real show. I am not Pat Renwick. I don't know what is going on.
This has not been a test.
This is not my beautiful house.
No. Dave is not here.